All right, I think we're live. If anyone is listening, push one in the chat. All right, I'm going to assume that everyone can hear me. Welcome back to the Black Brain Trust. This is open chat number 101. Please hit the like button to come in, share the video if possible, hit that notification bell so you get all the updates from the Black Brain Trust. There'll be a link in the chat if you want to join the panel and engage in the discussion. No docket for today, but I wanted to have a conversation and give a political analysis on a discussion that happened last night. Art Newstall happened to have hosted a panel with several panelists, and they were having a discussion about domestic politics, which is very important right now. And I thought that, it would be interesting to give some critique and listen to some of the conversation that was that was being had on the panel. And I think that we can walk away with some lessons learned about political engagement of domestic politics. So without further ado, let me share my screen. Let me know you can see my screen. Right? A few seconds. Yeah. All right. Let me know you can see my screen. All right. Let me start playing this clip and I'll stop it when I think that it, needs to be some interjection.
With all this beef and stuff, regardless of what we've seen, I think a lot of people have really, just doing their own thing now. I ain't gonna say it's over though.
It ain't over. But the thing that's how come I put it the response channel, right? Because I wanted to draw some of that heat away from space. Okay, you got a problem. Okay, and sometimes people like punching, but not getting punched back.
Yeah. Because sometimes when you see the back and forth, sometimes you kind of stick around to see if there's any kind of resolution.
Mm-hmm.
If there's any consensus or what have you. That's if I was to watch, it would be that. Other than that, I can't enjoy black men just at it for the sake of just being at each other.
Because my thing is that once I put up the channel for that, right now I'm going to go through your stuff and I'm going to start poking holes in your arguments. Okay, which nobody's really done because people are trying to ignore you because you're hollering and screaming. Okay, like with the politics, right? There's too many holes in your arguments. Okay, now they're all exposed. You're not around. Why? Because you don't want to come back and say that you're wrong. all that hollering and screaming and getting mad and throwing chairs, and guess what? You're wrong.
Yeah, it's not worth being angry about.
That's why I didn't think it was in the first place, you know. But since you want to die on that hill, you know, stand on your square.
You're right or wrong. It's like,
Right.
you know, at least you're hearing something.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's an opinion, whether it's a conjecture, what any of that. It's like, okay, I never thought of it that way. Go do tell. Tell me, you know, why are you thinking of that? I mean, that's what I do for a living. You know?
Well, like Stacey Abrams, man, we try to point out, hey, the black men there have a right to ask her, you know, what she's going to do for them, okay? And her explain it if they want their vote. No, blah, 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 blah. Come on, man. I mean, that's just politics 101. Now, 2 years later, everybody's agreeing with it.
So let me stop this here. The manosphere didn't do this. Okay, it became a talking point in the manosphere, but the manosphere didn't do this. What's happening here was Stacey's campaign was more to the left of what black men in Georgia were asking for, right? The ones who actually vote. Now, the numbers show that black men did show up for Stacey Abrams. The problem here is the same demographic that came out for Warnock did not come out necessarily for Stacey. This usually happens when it comes to black people running for gubernatorial office, right? There's only been 4 black people who have held gubernatorial positions in the United States. Okay, that's since Reconstruction. You have Governor of Virginia, Doug Wilder. You've had Governor of Massachusetts, Deval Patrick. And third governor is Wes Moore. And Stacey would have been the 4th. So the idea that black people can just easily ascend to office based off of what offering things to black men, that's not how politics works. Historically, it's not how politics works. There has to be historic grounding when you actually talk about certain things in politics. That has never happened before, where everybody just succumbs to what black men think or what black men want, you know, at the ballot. It doesn't work that way. And so Atlanta, which is the economic power center of Georgia, black men were already winning. Okay. Maynard Jackson, you know, in the building of the airport, Ambassador Andrew, you know, Atlanta, it works just fine in terms of business operations. Now, are black people getting a huge chunk of the economy down there in terms of the federal contracts and whatnot? Maybe not a whole lot, but for all intents and purposes, there is an ecosystem down there. And so when you say, well, what are you offering black men? Well, wait a second here. No one ever asked that question when it comes to white candidates. It's only when it comes to black women running for office. This idea that, you know, you got to talk to black men. I would agree that there is some political engagement that needs to be done at certain levels, but the idea that the manosphere is responsible for this, you know, that's where I have to disagree. And so you've already had black male leaders from a political standpoint run for office, and they've never had to really address black men at that level. I think it's these wayward people who are not politically informed that try to engage and say, well, what am I getting out of this? They can promise you anything, but if they're not elected to office, they cannot act on it. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make any sense. Well, I'm not going to vote because you haven't actually offered me anything. Well, if she doesn't get into office or he doesn't get into office, it doesn't matter because you're not getting anything anyways. So you might as well vote on the issues of the day that's on the ballot so that you can actually participate within the system. But if you don't think that participating within the system as it is necessary, then why would you think that anybody would actually engage you politically anyways? What's the point? We already had black men running for office. You had Gary Chambers. You had Mandela Barnes in Wisconsin. All these other black men that were running for office, none of these guys ever covered it. They didn't cover it because they weren't interested. It only comes down to Stacey Abrams because it's a black woman. Let me continue.
Black men have a right to ask for what they want, demand something in their favor with their name on it. Both parties are saying it now.
Yeah.
I don't know why that was so hard to understand.
On the Republican side, they better take advantage of this because it seems like they ain't doing nothing. They better shoot if they would.
Because they have nothing. They have nothing to offer.
Yeah.
What are they going to offer?
Because I don't know. So you think all they have to do is just sit there and do the whole Homer Simpson while the Democrats are going through a lot right now?
Because right now the Democrats are out Republicans with the wars and all the other stuff.
Oh yeah, okay. Whew. Yeah, that's going to be an interesting outcome right there.
Yeah. And when you listen to them, they have nothing. What are you going to do to solve the homeless problem? They have nothing. How about the banking problem? They got nothing. Okay. What do they really have? As far as solving America's problems. What can they do? You basically you like wars, but you want to have to be against the war, against two wars.
I'm just trying to think, what can they do to make a shift to make people start going more in their favor? I'm just trying to.
I mean, there probably is something, okay, but the thing is what, and then if the Democrats are screwing up, man, and making mistakes, let them, okay. And the Democrats shooting their own self in the foot. So, what are you gonna do? Shoot yourself in the foot too? I'm gonna shoot myself in both feet.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm just because I'm always trying to think because I'm not sure if they're gonna get that. Was it 91 or 92% of the black vote, or is it has to be around there, right?
I think before the immigrant thing in Chicago and New York, I think they had a shot at it, but I think the women are pissed off.
So it's gonna get into the 80s.
It might. I don't know how long it's gonna dip. The thing is, it's not looking good.
Yeah, because remember, some people still listen to Big Mama. Big Mama ain't happy.
I haven't heard a whole bunch of Democratic talk since all this stuff jumped off.
Yeah, that's the thing because I'm trying because it's like, okay, without the black vote, I mean, they don't have a chance, right? So, well, the largest chunk of the black vote. So, if for example, if they went down, like I keep asking people, if they went down to like maybe 77%, 76%, which is like real low, do they have a chance of winning?
Not with the policies that they have set forth.
Let me explain something here. Black people are dominant in in the majority of the key swing states that any politician who's running on a national campaign has to win. Okay, Georgia, Pennsylvania, Florida, Michigan, Ohio. These are really key states where the black vote is dominant. Okay. Especially Georgia. If you lose any one of those states, you could lose one, but if you lose more than one, you're in deep doo-doo, no matter what side of the aisle you're on. Obama won North Carolina twice. Okay, that's extreme. He ran an impeccable campaign. The thing here is worrying about the percentage is not as important as winning the states itself. Because you can do weak in Florida, but you got to clean up in the rest of the states, right? So that's what I'm saying. You can lose one state, but you can't lose 2, 3, and 4. Trump lost almost the majority of the states, which is why he wanted to challenge those states in those voting districts because he wanted to actually frame the narrative that Black people were cheating at the ballot. Okay, only in the Black areas, not anywhere else. You know, the areas that he won, he didn't want to contest them. The areas he lost is where he wanted to contest. That's the power of the Black vote. You don't win in those key battleground states. You are SOL.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, it was no brainer that Trump was going to lose last time because of COVID.
Because even if they just sit out, you know, like not all of the 23%, but
if you want to win, and this is what I would do, if you really want to win, okay, the person that has the pulse as a Democrat is RFK Jr. Okay, on both sides, you know, liberals and conservatives, he has a pulse. But are you going to run him? But he's not. But he's not a neoliberal. Do you want to run him?
Yeah, because he had to leave them and go green, right?
Is he green or independent?
I mean, you know what? I'm definitely what you call it is green. What's it? Afro Man.
He was. He went independent.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Last time I looked.
All right. Okay, I'll look for you.
Which is you know, he's the Black Bernie bro.
Let's see, Junior Hari. He's just considered unaffiliated, but what the? He's just plain. So as of October, he's just straight up independent.
He's straight independent. I think Cornell is too. Last I heard, unless he reconsidered.
You'll have to pick a side. You'll have to pick a side eventually.
There is no side, man. They're all screwed up.
So you got to pick a side.
Like my partner said, I never claims nothing funky.
That's fair. That's fair, but it's like, and that's true. You know, there is no side, but you're going to either choose which devil you're going to sit with.
If you want to make a statement, man, you vote no confidence, because it doesn't matter at this point, because they're pretty much locked into whatever momentum they have. They don't have much wiggle room.
I mean, that's fine in what you're saying, but you've never seen an independent ever taken serious.
It doesn't matter. The thing is, you want to send a message.
This is where BGS gets it wrong. Okay. Donors are not going to back somebody just to send a message. It doesn't work that way. Okay. The whole purpose of backing somebody is because you think that horse is going to win. You bet on the right horse. The problem here is that RFK is not the right horse. He's the wrong horse for a myriad of reasons, but he's not going to ever get on the ballot in all 50 states. That's important to understand. You're not going to be able to get on the ballot. And so this idea of, whoa, just go out there and make a statement, that's how politics works. You play for keeps. That's the name of the game. It's a two-party system, which is what BMT is referring to. You have to pick a side. And so when you push back against that, that means you really don't understand the gravity of the issue itself. This is not about going out there to make, statements and stuff, man. People, donors like to put money behind candidates they think are going to win, if they think they're viable, or if they think that they can have another position within the, within the party itself. Joe Manchin has a better chance at running for POTUS than RFK does. RFK is not a national firebrand. He's just not that guy. That's just not him. Okay, he's all over the place with his politics. If you actually follow him and what he's saying, he doesn't really have a strong position on anything. He's all over the place. He says one thing, then he walks it back a week later or 2 weeks later. Nobody wants to get behind a person like that. He's not consistent enough. Okay.
To the people in power.
Okay, so you're sending a message. What is the message?
In other, we don't have confidence in your abilities. Period. and
Yeah.
and at the end, so
Uh,
it's the next 2 year cycle. There's going to be the heads are going to get chopped off. Okay.
So, what independent has ever been in that level of authority over anything? What independent person?
The only person the last person that could have done it, it didn't want to do it because he was probably in danger. It was Ron Paul. Ron
Okay.
Paul and Dennis Kucinich could have formed an independent ticket and probably won.
Yeah, but the
But
thing here is
could've.
you still have to get on a ballot in 50 states. That's the problem. It sounds good in theory, but you have to get on the ballot in 50 states, and you don't have that. Alaska is a strong state to win. Usually Republicans win that. Arizona is still a strong swing state too. You need that. What I'm saying here is, it sounds good in theory. Bloomberg tried to create his own party, and he is a very wealthy person. He's in the top 10 of wealthiest men in the United States, and he couldn't even form a party with all of his billions of dollars. It doesn't work in the way that you think that it does. It doesn't work like that. That's not how this system works. We got to have a better understanding, some political literacy when we have these discussions about how the system works. What BMT is saying is that when have you ever seen something like that ever happen here? Historically, not even in the last, let's go back to the 60s, the switching of the parties. Where was the independent candidates then? Okay. You had Nixon, post LBJ. Then you had Carter. Then you had Reagan. Then you had Bush Sr. Then you had Clinton. So you had one liberal post Nixon, Carter, the last liberal president. And then you had the emergence of the new right wing under Reagan, ran 2 terms. And then you had Bush Sr., which was an extension of Reagan. So that's 3 terms, which ran into the Clinton administration, who was a center-right moderate, who ran 2 terms. So now you have 30 years, about close to 20 years of politics that did not necessarily favor Black people's interests. And then you go into Bush Jr., and then you get 2 terms of him. It wasn't until Obama that you got somebody who was actually progressive. So these things don't just work in the vacuum like that.
But they didn't.
So I know why. We know why they didn't, because they would have been their lives would have been in danger.
Okay, so and again, so that still falls back to what I said. Sooner or later, you're going to choose a side.
No, you don't.
There's no such thing.
You
just agreed with me.
Huh?
But you just agreed. Okay, so look at it like this.
Okay. What?
Okay. So let me say.
Hold on a second, right? If either side is basically the same and you don't like it, you don't have to pick a side. Okay.
Okay. And a perfect. Okay.
An independent is not a side. Okay. Okay. That's the third way.
Actually, this is not true. And this is what BMT is referring to. He's asking, when have you ever seen that work? And your response is nothing. To be quite frank, it's nothing. You don't have a response to that, because the reality is there's no such thing as an independent candidate running at that level. When Bernie was running as an independent in out of Vermont as in the Senate, that was fine. But when it was time to run for president, he had to choose a side, which is what BMT is all BMT is saying. And so the questioning and pushing back of what BMT is saying about choosing a side is this filibustering for all intents and purposes. All BMT is saying, these candidates have to choose a side when it's time to run for POTUS. You can run for Senate as an independent, you can run for Congress as an independent, but when it comes to POTUS, you better choose a side or else you're going to be out.
Okay,
Now,
so all right, so that would work in an ideal world, but in the ideal world, which we're not in, the system has already been so far overdrafted. You're going to choose a side. They're going to want to know which side do you lean on. It's either you're going to go right or left. There's no in between. Like
there is.
the party. So hold on, let me finish. I'll let you talk. So
Okay.
you have it where the right side and the left side. Now the left don't have nobody strong enough that they can say, "Hey, let's throw this person out there." They would have presented that person already because they already know the right has already just been reaching and just bickering amongst themselves. Hell, you got a guy that's not even speaking and he's winning the polls. Now, when you're talking about somebody going independent, then that's a toss up right now, especially as ignorant as Americans are, because they want to know, well, what are you? Are you left? Are you right leaning? You saying you're independent, then they're going to ask you the same question. So what has the independents have done for us? And if you can't tell me what an independent party person that pulled off for us, then they're going to be like, why should I trust you? Because you're up in the air. You're unknown.
Okay.
Unknown is dangerous. Go ahead.
In other words, basically, okay, if you're fucked either way, why would you pick either side?
Because you have to choose a side at the end of the day. It's a two-party system. That's how the system works. That's how it works. At that level, that's how it works. That's all BMT is referring to.
I'll take the devil that I do know rather than the devil I don't know.
Which is the devil that you do know killed 3 million people with COVID. You gonna pick him?
That's fine. Yeah, I'll take that one.
Well, then take him.
I'll take that one.
Okay.
I'll take that one.
I would suggest. I was suggesting this came up in 1992. Everybody vote no confidence.
BNT,
and then wait a cycle. Okay, at some point you got to stop the madness. Okay, at some point you got to get off the train.
Yeah, that's not something that's ever gonna. You can't stop the. Huh?
How do you know?
Because we've already tried that before.
Because it's a two-party system. That's why. It's a two-party system. Like all of this rejection of how the system works just because you don't like it, man, that's not how things work, change. You have to work with the system as it is, not how you want it to be. It's futile to even have that part of the discussion. It doesn't make any sense.
So unless you're talking about doing a shutdown,
yeah,
you already got the cataclysm of already a war happening. You got anti-Semitics going on. Saying I'm independent does not work. Saying I'm going to back away does not prove nothing. Like you could.
Initial question that you asked was like,
This is between me and BGS.
Yeah.
So just
but make your points because you keep making the same point. At some point,
you haven't proven anything. You haven't proven anything.
Neither have you, sir.
Actually, BMT did prove something. He proved how the system works and that there was no actual independent candidate that would actually run at that level. He did prove his point. You just don't like his point that he's making, but BMT is actually speaking some facts. I know a lot of people, don't take BMT seriously, but he's actually right. Fundamentally, he is right.
Okay, but see, here's the thing about it. I asked you, you actually tell me somebody independent that's been in power. You said could have. That means hypothetical. That does not prove anything.
Okay.
Hypothetical. We're not working in the hypothetical. We're working in the actual.
Okay.
So we don't do hypothetical.
At some point, you got to try something different. What's the definition of insanity, sir?
Okay, then so you want to use that?
This isn't a question about insanity. It's a question about how the system works. It's a two-party democratic system. That's how it works. Either you choose one side at the top, or you don't play at all. Saying that, well, you got, the definition of insanity is to keep doing the same thing over and over again and expect different results. That's how the fucking system works. This isn't a question about insanity. It's a basic, comprehensive understanding of how the system works, and pushing back against what he's saying only proves that you're really out of depth here.
doing something over and over again. But guess what?
Okay.
And guess what? So, but you haven't proven that we're doing anything different, have you? Have you proven that?
I don't
No.
have to
Okay, so you're going off of dreams and hopes. We don't operate like that.
Do you ask me a question, sir, or not?
Mhm.
And I answered your question, and I asked you a question, and you couldn't prove it.
Dog,
I don't have to prove it, sir.
So guess what? If you don't have to prove it, so you don't have nothing to go on.
Oh, are we
making
doing it?
an emotional
Hold on a second. We're doing it this way. Okay, gloves off. Okay.
Now, let me stop it here. BMT might be animated, but he's trying to hammer a point home that earlier in the discussion, BGS could not prove that there was an independent candidate that can fill that role. Okay? It's a two-party system, so he doesn't have any examples of an independent candidate taking office. We've already discussed Bernie Sanders being an independent and having to run on a Democratic ticket. Okay? To say you're going to take the gloves off means that you already lost the argument or you lost the debate. Because that's not how BMT was coming at BGS. BMT was basically hammering the point home that the ideas that you have not been manifested before. And you're not going to change the system by saying vote of no confidence. That's not how the system works. This doesn't work like that. Okay? And so saying you're going to take the gloves off means that you really don't have a strong argument. Make a stronger argument for what you're trying to say. And what you're trying to say earlier in the discussion, it has not actually happened before. And it's never going to happen. Not in a two-party system. Okay.
Take your glove off if you want to. So show me an independent person that's led the military.
It doesn't matter.
It does matter.
It doesn't matter, sir.
Show me independent.
See, now this is getting petty. Because to say that, oh, well, it doesn't matter. No, it does matter. It actually does matter. We're in an election cycle. You can't say RFK as an independent makes sense in a two-party system. It doesn't make any sense for you to say that.
Show me independent general.
It doesn't matter. You want to go down with the ship because that's where it's going. It doesn't matter.
I mean, you haven't been able to call a name yet.
Huh? It doesn't matter what
you haven't been able to call a name.
I did.
Show me an independent politician.
An independent politician?
That's actually led, that's been in charge.
That's been in charge. I'm charged of what?
Yes.
Oh,
that's been in charge of the House.
The House.
Yep. Somebody that's independent. I don't take no sides. I'm not part of any of this stuff. I stand alone by myself.
Rand Paul is one of them. Okay.
Rand Paul? Are you really calling Rand Paul?
Yeah.
Rand Paul's been yanked around plenty of times. Like, stop that now. Come on now. I know you ain't trying to use Rand Paul now. Come on now. You're going to use no Rand Paul.
Rand Paul is a member of the Republican Party. He's not an independent.
Try somebody else.
He's been what? He's been what? Say that again and slower, okay?
Rand Paul's been yanked around plenty of times.
He's been yanked around because he don't want to run, okay?
Yanked around. So guess what? That means he had no power. But if he had power, he would have backing.
He does have backing. He does have power. He don't.
From who? Wait. Who's backing him? Who's backing him?
If Rand Paul ran today, he'd probably be a front runner. He don't want to run.
As what? As what?
As Republican, if he wanted to run that way.
Okay, so that's picking a side. That's picking a side. So you actually just agreed with what I just said. Thank you. You took the gloves off and you lost that one. You lost that one. You just actually agreed with what I just said. That's not independent. That's a Republican.
If Rand Paul ran, I would vote for him.
So guess what? You agree with what I just said, that eventually everyone chooses a side.
At this point, there is no side because everybody's fucked.
There is a side. You choose the side that they tell you to go on.
There isn't.
But you just said if Rand Paul would run, he's going as a Republican. So he didn't go as an independent, he went as a Republican.
If Rand Paul ran, I would vote for him, independent or not.
That doesn't make any sense. And unfortunately, this is sort of the reaction that you get from a lot of cats in the manosphere, is that they don't care about the facts. They just care about what they think, and that's it. But that wasn't the question that BMT had. BMT asked a very basic question. When have you ever seen what you're talking about actually happen? And there was no response. Well, I would support Rand Paul. Well, Rand Paul is a member of the Republican Party. So he's not an independent. So who are we talking about here?
But you just said if he ran, he would go as a Republican. So that would mean his chain got yanked into the Republican side. So you agreed what I just said. That's what I'm saying. Like, you can't just think you're going to throw something out and don't think you're going to be contested.
You're not listening.
No, you didn't listen to what you said. That's all it was. I mean, that's all it. Just say you didn't know. Just say you
to me. You're not listening.
No, I don't. No, you got to say you're doing both ways.
You're
not listening, BMT.
You're yelling, brother.
No. You don't think you're going to say something and then don't get put back. No, you don't understand what you were saying, dude. You just thought you were going to say some crap, and now they put out.
I know what I said.
No, you know what you said, and you got what? You lost. You lost. You agree with what I said. No, you got caught in your bullshit. That's the thing about it. You got caught in the bullshit, and I caught you up with it. You didn't like that, did you?
Go smoke your herb. Go smoke your herb.
Go smoke your herb? What the fuck that mean? What the hell? Go smoke your herb.
See, the ad hominems came out. That wasn't BMT with the ad hominems. That was BGS.
Because you're not
I mean, now you're saying some dumb shit now. Come on now, BGS. Come on now. How old are you now? You too old to be saying dumb shit now. Come on now.
You said dumb
Come on now. Come on now. Don't be stuttering about it. Come on now. Come on now. Calm down. Take a breather. Calm down. Come on. Come on now. Come on. You just you don't want to take off your gloves. You just now you screaming.
Yelling first.
No, you actually act mature. Act mature first. How about you act mature?
You stop yelling.
Come on now. Now don't try to act that more high ground shit now.
Yelling first.
No, come on now.
You stop yelling first.
Come on now. Y'all weren't telling him to say that now. Now all of a sudden he got caught up. Now all of a sudden he's feeling stupid. Just tell him to chill out. Tell the old dude to chill out now.
You chill out.
You got called out.
Get back to the
No. I don't do the fantasy. I don't do the fantasy talk.
Yes, you
You talking as we two men.
Yes, you do.
We two men. So chill that shit out now. Chill that out.
Don't give me that. No, I don't have.
No. You ain't talking to your son.
Like this in a while, BMT. Where's this coming from, brother?
No. I'm talking to him. I'm talking to him. Why'd you talk to that nigga? No, that nigga, y'all ain't had no smoke. He said, "Take off the gloves."
No,
y'all ain't tell him to chill the fuck out.
Nobody's having.
So don't be doing that shit with me.
I don't want to hear
That nigga was starting the shit. Y'all ain't got nothing to say when he said that shit. So check that nigga. You check that nigga. He ain't say y'all ain't had no smoke when he said that shit. Y'all should have told him to chill out.
I told both
that
of y'all.
shit. No, you can shut the fuck up, my nigga. You can chill out, man. I wouldn't even try that shit. Don't be think you talking to another man. It's another man, dude. Okay, great. I'm glad you don't give a fuck. I don't have to give a fuck either.
What is good? Good.
You acting like a bitch right now.
IQ motherfucker.
He called him a low IQ motherfucker. He told him to go smoke his herb. He said he was going to take the gloves off. This wasn't BMT doing all this. Okay, unfortunately, this was BGS doing all of this. And so a simple discussion about domestic politics and the upcoming election spiraled into this, and for whatever reason, it was allowed to go on, even though the aggression had came from one side. Now, a lot of people will say that the Black Brain Trust are the ones creating the antagonism against Black Gnostic, and that's not necessarily true. We just heard it right here that a simple question about a statement that was made spirals into chaos because someone wanted to take the gloves off. When, BMT, for all intents and purposes, was actually asking an honest question about the statement that was made. Prove the point that you're making is true with historical facts. Ron Paul and Rand Paul are both members of the Republican Party. Ron Paul is considered to be a libertarian. Rand Paul is considered to be less than so. And so because of that, even if you got the two mixed up, both of them were members of the Republican Party. They were never independents. So who are we talking about here?
Oh, you being a bitch right now, BJ.
Come on, man. You've been talking about how you respect your elders and everything's cool.
Man, get the fuck out of here with that shit, man. It goes both ways, nigga. Stop that. My elder, I can call my elder right now. Come on now, don't be doing that shit. Respect your elder shit. So he don't gotta do no respect. No, nigga, don't do that shit. I got a father. I don't need to do that respect shit. I got a dad. I'm sorry, this ain't. No, we don't play that game here, bro. We men on this panel. The nigga got out of pocket and he got caught up in his lies. Stop that shit, nigga.
BMT, y'all.
BMT.
This is not BMT.
Nigga, why y'all keep calling my name? Call your granddaddy's name. Call that nigga over there. Why y'all keep calling my name, nigga?
Don't listen. This is not BMT.
Yo. This nigga been disrespectful.
This is not BMT. Trust me.
Wait a minute. Why is everybody getting so hot over just a few questions?
It actually isn't everybody. It's only one person. But see, that's never acknowledged in these debates. It's only one person with the aggression, and that's coming from, one side. But no one ever wants to acknowledge this. It's always.
Well, I disagree, but I mean, I'm not.
What's that? What's
that?
Actually,
BMT is one of my best friends, but I actually disagree with him on this point. But I'm not mad. So,
what do you disagree? What do you disagree with?
I believe I just disagree that you only have two choices. So that's not true. And I know that you're talking about this system, but I think this system supposed to be the Constitution. I don't think anywhere in there says it's only a two-party system. So
no,
I know that he said that the specific question I think that they got mad about was that he was saying what independent has ever, taken power or something to that effect. So of course he would be correct within the two-party system that they set up. But, we had parties. This country has had parties in wigs and, prior to that. And really, it can change. The thing is, I'll say it this way. People saying what will not happen. True enough, you're in a current American system. But when a system is not functional, we see signs everywhere of this system being dysfunctional. So people are dissatisfied. So we also have a human nature, a global system. There's things called revolution. It happens. This country is over 200 and something years old, 1776. It's not unheard of to have a revolution. I mean, it's not unheard of.
But you're not gonna have a revolution on black men's interests.
Well,
you're not gonna have that.
Why not? We had it in the 60s.
But that didn't overturn the constitutional system.
Okay, so the thing is, why are you saying that it's going to overturn the constitutional system? It's
because that's what a revolution
does. Well, no. Does it overturn? No, that's what you just said.
Yeah, that's what a revolution does.
No, it's not overturning. Revolution, it just changes. Okay, so people.
What's the difference between change and overturn?
It's a big difference. Look in the dictionary. So we're not going to. Yeah, look in the dictionary. It's a very big difference between those two words. But the point is,
if you overturn something, is that not changing?
You want to make it about those two words now.
Because
listen. Let me finish that point. See, you want to make it about those two words.
No, this is my panel.
Stop.
No, this is my panel.
Stop until we talk about these two words. Okay.
No. Hold on a second. Hold on a second.
Go ahead.
We're having a conversation about the context of what BMT is saying.
Okay.
When you say that, people are dissatisfied, that's not the context of what BMT is saying.
Actually, okay, this is what you're saying. Keep going.
No, it's not what I'm saying. It's what
Yeah, it is,
BMT is
because
saying.
right now you want to change from the point that I was making, and you want to talk about overturn and
No,
revolution,
no, no,
and
no,
now you
no.
want to
You're
talk
taking
about the context instead of the question that he
no,
said. And I
the
actually said that he's actually correct. I actually said that he's correct in what he actually said.
That's all
And then
that
you start
matters.
asking me,
No, that's
you
all that
start asking me
matters.
different questions then.
No. The context of the conversation is, when has there ever been an independent, as BGS is specifying, to take the helm of POTUS? There has not been one.
Okay.
That's
Okay,
all
so that's
BMT
fine.
is saying, that you have to take a side because you
I
have
know
a
that.
two-party system. Anything else after that is
I'm telling you,
ancillary.
that part is not true. That
Okay.
part is not true. Okay. You have more than two options. This is a simple fact. Like I said before, the system was set up constitutionally. I don't think there's anything in that constitution or in the laws that says you only have a two-party system. Okay. Like I said before, the country historically had more than two parties who actually had held power. But that's ancient. I'm sure you guys will say that's ancient. We're talking about modern. So I conceded to BMT, who is my friend. And I said that he is correct in modern time. Okay, but so we passed that point. Now, so that point is conceded to him. But then I start going into, we also have a human nature. The country is only a few hundred years old. Okay, revolution is a thing. When people are dissatisfied with the current system, it's not fulfilling the needs of significant portions of the population. It is disintegrating. We are seeing signs of that all over the place. Okay, people are not satisfied with the system. They're trying to find other options.
When did that start?
If the system does not adjust to fulfill those people's option, they will be forced into a revolution. It is human nature.
When did the dissatisfaction start?
When did the dissatisfaction start? Okay,
Yeah.
so listen, I'm not going to answer a question like that, because I would not be able to give you a factual date. Okay.
So why are we having this discussion?
Well, you just asked me a question
Yeah,
that
but
I couldn't answer,
you said,
and now you asked me a question. When did dissatisfaction start? I mean, think about that question. Why would I answer that?
The reason why I'm asking you this question is because
Trump. Answer that.
The reason why I'm asking you.
Okay. Go ahead.
Can you hear me? What's going on here?
I'm listening to you, because you asked me a question that no one can actually factually answer. Okay, so go ahead.
You said that there was dissatisfaction with the system.
Okay, but
Trump,
you cannot
ask
me a question and say, when did it start?
Listen to what I'm saying.
Hey, let my man let Mike Mike answer the question.
Yeah, this is the Black Brain Trust. This is our panel. You come on here over talking us as if you have some kind of factual statements to make, and I'm trying to understand where you're getting these points from. Trump got 73 million votes. Where did the dissatisfaction come in? Was it before Trump, or is it after Trump?
Before Trump.
So why would 73 million people vote for a candidate in one party?
Because they were dissatisfied with the standard type of candidate.
The Republican Party is the status quo.
Okay, that's what you want to believe.
No,
but
it's
Trump
not what I believe.
Yeah, it is. Yes, it is, because Trump is not a conventional candidate.
Yeah, but what I'm saying.
Okay, so there we go. That's why they voted for Trump, because you went from Trump and now you went to the Republican Party. Okay, which are two different things. Okay, yes, he's running on a Republican ticket. Of course he is. But he is not a conventional Republican candidate. He uses the Republican Party because he's using the system, but he's not a conventional Republican. There are literally Republicans, big big wig Republicans, big name Republicans, who are outwardly saying, "Do not vote for Trump." You got members in the government that are Republicans. His own vice president is turned against him.
And he dropped out. He dropped out of the race himself.
Okay, well, I'm just saying, Trump is different from the Republican Party. He's an individual.
That's immaterial. That's immaterial to the point that I just made. Where did the dissatisfaction come from? Was it before Trump or was it after Trump?
I told you it was before Trump.
If it was before Trump, If it was before Trump, why would Trump get 70 million of the vote?
I answered that question already. He's a non-conventional. So they're satisfied, right? You're saying they're satisfied. You're going to ignore all of the evidence and the people that you can find all over the place that's telling you that they are dissatisfied. You know, what is that? January 6th, people storming the Capitol, and then just recently you had another storm of the Capitol. You're going to ignore that?
If people are dissatisfied, they would stay home.
Which they are. And you know how many people don't vote?
He still got 70. He still got 70 plus million of the vote. So what I'm saying here is where is all this dissatisfaction at? Because the Republican Party have not passed any legislation to benefit their constituency. So who are they? Who are these people dissatisfied with? Are they dissatisfied with the system, or dissatisfied with the party, or dissatisfied with the candidate?
Okay, so the people obviously are dissatisfied with the system. So there you go. As far as Black people, our communities have been dissatisfied so long that we've literally become numb to dissatisfaction. So in the 60s, we were taking action on our dissatisfaction. So you began revolution, which was violently suppressed. Okay. So now, drugs are, people are self-medicating, all sorts of issues from the 80s, 90s, and to now, the Black community is just numb. But we're not getting the resources that we put in. People are constantly, there's not a day, not a second, not an hour goes past that you cannot find not just a few Black folks, a significant number. People have Million Man marches. People have Black Lives Matters. People have, big movements of people with megaphones talking about how dissatisfied they are at XYZ system, the justice system. So I'm just saying you're going to ignore that. But now we're seeing other communities, even beyond Black folks, who are literally storming the Capitol, trying to kidnap governors, insane stuff.
Well, that's nothing new.
Oh, really? Okay.
What do you think? What do you think happened during Reconstruction?
See, now you're going ancient.
No, it's not.
I can talk about the Whig Party now. Then.
No, because it's not ancient. If you're talking about
so we can talk about the Whig Party. So that debunks your earlier argument. It's only a two-party system.
No, you can't debunk me because the.
So what's the Whig Party? So you said it was a two-party system. No other party has held power, but so you're saying that the Whig Party was not a party that held governmental office?
No, we're not even talking about that. We're talking about
Reconstruction.
No, we're talking about something very specific. I don't know if you're paying attention. You said dissatisfaction, storming of the Capitol, kidnapping governors. That happened during Reconstruction. No, I'm saying historically that happened during Reconstruction, the overthrowing of Black male elected officials. That happened.
Yeah, I know that.
So that's what we're trying to do here is establish historical grounding to these points. What BMT is doing is establishing historical grounding to the point.
Okay,
Now,
well, yeah, I agree with
what I'm,
BMT's point, but
yeah,
the
okay.
belief that I believe his question when he said that there was no modern person outside of a Republican or a Democrat at the national level there. Yeah, so I agree.
Yeah,
I mean, there have been independent senators. Now, we know that Bernie Sanders, we know that there's another dude who was independent. He was a senator. He was a federal senator, a couple federal senators, I believe, Lieberman. Okay, so they held power. They were independent.
Yeah, but they're not. Okay. They're not POTUS. They're not POTUS. That's what the conversation is about.
Okay.
POTUS. That's it.
Okay, well, I'm just going through the litany. So we do see that independent is a thing. Okay, and then of course, on lower levels and statewide, we see that. I know in Georgia you had the Libertarians hold some office and stuff like that, and in California the Green Party holds offices. But I understand what you were saying. That's why I kept it there. But the point but to pretend like there's no other options, that I think you're wrong. I'll say it that way.
Yeah, that's your opinion, man. We're talking about fact.
No, this is a fact. There are other options. I just proved it, but you just don't want to admit it. I told you there's revolution.
So why didn't Trump run as an independent?
Okay, well, that's a question, but I'm just telling you that's another option. So that's a proof. So that's not
all right. I need to move on. I need to move on.
Let's go.
Yeah, I need to move on, man. The fucking.
I don't understand.
Wait a minute. Why is everybody getting hot over a few questions?
BMT. Why are you saying BMT?
I don't know.
Why y'all just saying BMT? See, y'all doing this shit right here that's getting annoying.
I'm not finished talking. Wait a minute. I'm not finished talking. Hold on.
Respectfully,
dude. Hey. See, I'm saying I'm being respectful. I'm letting Charles talk. You doing that little slick bullshit, bro. Quit acting like a bitch right now, boy. You acting like a bitch. I can come at you disrespectful, dude.
Go ahead, motherfucker.
I know you used to that YouTube girly shit.
Go ahead, motherfucker.
Calm your.
Now, here's the deal. The motherfucker, read a book, go smoke your herb, taking the gloves off. The aggression came from one side. It didn't come from BMT. Let's keep tabs on this.
Pass down, nigga. You don't need no stroke. We got enough old niggas dying. Dude. Calm down, nigga. Calm down, old nigga. Calm down, old nigga.
Go back to school, nigga.
Go back where?
Go back to school. Keep that in mind.
Go back where?
Wait a minute. These are just questions. I don't know what.
I'm very confused.
I don't know what everybody's.
No, you're not confused. The aggression came from one side. It's not that difficult to understand.
Going wild about, because if this thing, I've been in and out listening, because if this thing was about the independent party or something.
No, you want to vote.
I'm trying to figure out.
Let's but you're asking the question, Charles, right? So I said,
let Charles talk.
Dude, he asked the question. Be quiet, man. He asked the question. Charles, did you not ask?
Yes, I asked the question. Hold up.
Jesus Christ, like what the fuck, dude?
You be quiet, motherfucker. Hold on.
Well,
Charles just asked the question, dude.
Let the host ask the question for a minute here. So why is there a lot of energy just to try to establish on your take on somebody picking a side? Why the energy? I don't get it.
Exactly.
If he agrees or disagrees, why the energy?
I think he has a prior he has something prior that that's coming.
No, but you don't want to speak for him because that's going to make it worse.
Oh,
well, he needs to speak. You asked him a question.
Okay, so there you go. Okay, yeah, I'm sorry, I had to pull over. I don't like to drive and conversate at the same time. So if we're two people talking, we don't have to agree, but we don't have to cut each other off. We don't have to say, let's take the gloves off, or start doing the ad hominem attack, or start cutting each other off. we could have talked and say, hey, you believe what you believe, and I believe what I believe. That's fine. But when we start doing the slick disses and stuff, nah, you got to start looking at who be saying what they're saying.
Good.
So, okay, so
what happened? What did he say as far as slick dissing? I'm curious.
So
he said he was going to take the gloves off. That's all that matters. Asking any other question after that doesn't even matter. It's immaterial to the rest of the discussion. Because once you say you're going to take the gloves off, you already made up your mind on how the discussion was going to go. BMT asked a legitimate question, and an answer couldn't be facilitated, and so the gloves had to come off. That's just the reality of this discussion. I'm just going to go 5 more minutes into this. But the point of the matter here is that, let me get my closing thoughts after this. I'll wait.
Okay, so first off, cutting somebody off, when I already told him the information of me and what I had to say, but I mean, I could play the playback if you don't mind me playing your playback of what you said. I'm just on the phone right now. Now, I literally said what I had to say about independent and Republicans and Democrats. He disagreed. That's fine. He did. But then after that, trying to cut me off over and over.
No, you cut me off, sir.
No. Actually, I was respectful about letting you speak. See how you doing? What you doing right now? What you doing right now?
No, you didn't.
What you doing right now, BJ?
The cutting off was way later. You guys were just going back and forth earlier, and it started escalating. But I'm just wondering, in disagreement, that's always going to be healthy, in my opinion. But I'm just wondering, that's why I just kept asking as far as the energy, how it escalated. That's
okay. No, that's fine. But see, the thing about it, Art the style, is when people start trying to do this thing, when 2 men are talking, start trying to play their little referee or their little gaslight thing, stay the fuck out of it. That's 2 people talking. I don't need no referee from me or this other nigga. Hold on, wait. You say on a panel, we're 2 talking. So when you talk, they're called. When 2 people are talking, guess what? I can listen to you, and then you ask me to respond, and then somebody else wants to say, well, guess what, BJ? Well, guess what, BMP? You need to listen and do this and that. Well, nigga, you can shut the fuck up on that. No, stop playing that gaslight shit. Come on, man. Now you acting like a woman on that shit, bro. Stop doing that, my nigga. Like, come on now. We've been on doing this shit for too long now.
Low IQ, nigga.
No, you got a low IQ on that shit, bro. Like, stop that, bro. Stop that, boy. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Low IQ. Another one.
Go read a book.
Listen, now you trying to get
go read a book.
Gangster, stop.
Go read a
stop
book.
It, BGS. Don't do that.
Go read a book.
Don't do that. I can show way more tangible shit than you do, boy. Come on now. I put books to action. Let's not do that, boy. Come on now. Come on now. Let's not do that. Come on now. Come on now, BJ. You know what I do and what you do don't even amount.
I don't give a fuck.
I know you don't. I know you don't. This is the best you got.
Go read a book.
Come on now. Come on now. I've already surpassed you. And how old am I?
I don't care. Go read a book.
You're too emotional right now.
That showed your IQ, BMT. I seen it all. You showed it all, homeboy.
Now, how does that show BMT's IQ? How does that show BMT's IQ? None of this is making any sense to me at all. Okay? BMT asked a legitimate question. An answer couldn't be facilitated. Factual grounding there were no facts that could be grounded. Like, how does that show BMT's IQ? I'll play 60 more seconds of this.
No. I mean, honestly, it's all good. I don't play this ass worshiping shit that he's trying to do. He's not going to disrespect me. I'm gonna sit right here like the fuck. I don't give a fuck, nigga.
I don't give a fuck either, nigga.
I mean, okay, you good? You'll be okay.
I'm fine.
You'll be okay.
I'm good. Yeah.
What point are you trying to make right now? Like, you're arguing online.
So I guess you don't see what this nigga doing. But you keep coming to me. What point am I trying to make? So I guess you don't see what this nigga doing.
I don't see what
are you blind? Are you deaf? Or you don't hear?
See what your motherfucking ass is doing right now.
I mean, but you don't see what the fuck you doing. I mean, I'm not your son, nigga.
I can't with low IQ motherfuckers. I can't.
I mean, I can't tell, nigga. You literally proved my point, dummy. You proved my point, nigga. What'd you say about Ron Paul?
Well, low IQ.
Okay, like, what are you, a child? What are you, a child?
No, low IQ nigga.
What are you, a child?
What are you, a child?
Nigga. Okay, what's your development? Like, what's your degree? What do you got a degree in?
What do you got?
What do you got a degree in?
Got a degree in.
But I know what I got shit done. I can show you my paperwork.
I don't
Come on now. Oh, you want to go there? Okay, what do you got a degree in?
I don't give a shit, nigga.
Oh, right. See, so shut the fuck up, nigga.
You shut the fuck up.
Yeah, okay, right. You want to go with the IQ shit? I can tell you what I can do. Can you fly a plane? Can you fly a plane? Can you operate a tank?
Wait a minute.
What kind of device mechanism can you work?
Wait a minute.
Come on, nigga.
Pause, everybody.
You want to
Anyways, let me stop there, man, because I don't think anything tangible is going to come out of this discussion at all. But here's the deal. Domestic politics is a very important topic for Black men to be having, specifically because the Black male vote is a swing vote in a lot of these key battleground states. Many candidates who have run for office and have lost with very small numbers that could have been facilitated by Black men who need to come out and vote. We saw what happened with Gary Chambers down in Louisiana. Okay, only 17% of the Black vote came out. Getting Gary Chambers into the Senate would have gave the Democratic Party a very strong position that they hadn't had in quite some time. Getting Mandela Barnes into the Senate would have gave the Democrats an even stronger position. Okay. Voting matters. Saying you're dissatisfied, you're just going to stay home and you're not going to do anything, that doesn't make any sense. Because you're not going to get anything out of it if you stay home. You still need to get your pieces on the chessboard into position. Even if you think you're not going to win, those pieces still need to be put on the chessboard. Your congressional members of the House, your Senate members in the chamber, okay? You still have to vote for a mayor. You still have to vote for a governor. You still have to vote for a secretary of state. You still have to vote for a sheriff. You still have to vote for a state auditor. In a lot of these places, and in most places, you have to vote for a state auditor. These are very easy positions that Black people can actually fulfill if folks come out and vote. But when you only have like 17% of the people coming out in Louisiana to come out and vote, you're not going to win anything. You didn't show up. You already forfeit. And to be worrying about an independent candidate at the POTUS level, these are just conversations that don't make a whole lot of sense at the end of the day. It's just a lot of circle jerking, in my opinion. And I think that it does a disservice in the manosphere to say months ago that we covered, that Mandela Barnes should have came to the manosphere and had a conversation with, the Black manosphere. But then you have people saying that, they're dissatisfied with the system, so therefore they're going to stay home. It's just a whole lot of banter and filibustering going on just to, just for what? What are you gaining out of having this conversation that you don't plan on participating in the system for? What's the point in all that? It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I just think that a lot of these content creators, man, want misinformation to be the standard in the Black male space. Okay, they sit up here, do live streams about emotional labor and all of this other these sort of topics that don't really have any sort of material impact on the ground for Black men at all. I don't know any Black men who's unemployed and without healthcare coverage saying, I'm worried about my emotional labor. I don't really see that happening. And so unfortunately, a lot of emphasis is put behind things that don't really benefit Black men, and the things that should benefit Black men are completely ignored. And I'm glad that BMT had the tenacity to get on the panel and actually facilitate a conversation to expose people for how little they know about the system that they claim they want to participate in or that they're going to stay home from. Nagone, you have any thoughts on this?
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, you definitely have to be locally, politically involved. Understanding how the system works is very important. Gary Chambers was on just the other day talking about a restaurant in their community in Louisiana that is attempting to be closed down. I mentioned this the other day, but I'll mention it here again, where this this restaurant is attempting to be closed down because it is in an area that some people do not want it to be in. That's mostly it's in a fairly high Caucasoid area, and the people in that area don't really want that restaurant to be there, so they're coming with all kind of ways to try to shut it down. They went into the court system and attempted to shut it down through some legal means, which they were not able to do, and those cases were thrown out of court consequently. And then they have been making a very serious move now politically to shut this Black-owned business down, to shut it down. That's been there for 10 years, and they're trying to use certain kinds of political maneuvers to shut this business down, to literally knock these guys out of business. And they're successful, but now they're utilizing certain types of codes and these variances and all the stuff that's being dealt with through city through city politics to literally or get rid of their liquor license. In fact, they get their liquor license out of there, which will destroy their business. So they couldn't go to the legal routes, and they're using the political route. Gary Chambers then came about and said, "Hey, look, people, you have to understand this politics is not only just for you to vote and bring in your presidents and all, but this is going to impact you at the local level, where people will try to remove you and take you out of business. And if you don't vote and if you're not here getting involved, you can be moved out, zoned out, like Jibba Jabba here said zoning. Yes, zoning. They can look to change zoning variances on you and so forth, and change rules in such a way where now the type of business that you have can't be there, and they can fine you and do all kinds of things to move you out and destroy you. All kinds of ways that they can play, and that's done politically. And you can stop that if you are registered to vote, active in your community, and can stand forth and stop this type of activity. Your vote can do that. That's why voting rights acts and so forth are so important, so they can't discriminate against you as a voter and disenfranchise you and move you out and actually just not hurt you as a voter, but hurt you as a citizen, as a business owner in your communities. This comes right down to the grassroots. Very important to understand that. And many of us just don't. In the state of Black politics, certainly here in the United States, is becoming a little bit more recessive. We have to really kind of start stepping up a lot more on this. And as far as Black politics with men, certainly our interest, and certainly here in the manosphere, it's in a poor condition. So we certainly would like to have people become certainly a lot more aware, a lot more intelligent, certainly about our political system. And just to address the point of speaking about the two-party system, which we fundamentally are, but the Democratic Party and the Republican Party are the most powerful out of all these other parties. Yet other parties, such as the Reform, Libertarian, Socialist, Natural Law, Constitution, Green parties, they can all promote candidates for the presidential election, but who is the most powerful and who's going to have the chance to really put their candidate in and get them elected and so forth, which of course revolves around billions of dollars and so forth. It's a very big thing. This is why we fundamentally have a two-party system. Any other party can run, but certainly this is fundamentally why we have a two-party system. This is fundamental, not that you don't have other parties that don't exist. So just understand that. But the key thing is with Mike, and then we're definitely keying on be involved, take a side, regardless what side you have to take. You have to be on a side and get involved, certainly at your local level, and then begin to, of course, it extends from there. But that's fundamental in this game. And we need to talk more about that and become much more knowledgeable about that here. All right. Thanks, Mike. Thank you for inviting me up as well.
Yeah, and to your point, there are also ballot initiatives that are there too that need to be voted on. Legalization of cannabis, right? Decriminalization of it, something that greatly impacts Black men. These are easy votes. Okay. I don't see why anybody would want to stay home when these other issues are on the ballot. Even if you don't like the candidate, you got to vote on the issues on the ballot. And usually if you don't vote for a candidate, what happens here is they give you an option to write in. The thing here is, if you don't mark that ballot, when you try to feed it into the machine, it rejects it. It rejects it because it wants you to fill it. It wants you to choose a candidate and you have to choose a side. That's the reality. When they look at the voter rolls and they look up who showed up, they know that you didn't vote the last election cycle. They know that. They keep census tracts and statistics on all of this. And you have people in the space that are advocating for you to not participate in the system, but want to have you come to a proverbial table to negotiate with women. How logical is that, man? Am I crazy? I mean, am I the only one who sees that this is problematic?
Ask these Black businesses in these areas that are under threat. Like I'm looking here in Pittsburgh and Pennsylvania and New Orleans and Houston and Texas and many other places that are under threat. Are they worried about Keisha? Are they sitting back and worried about that? How much are they worried about that? I mean, if we're going to talk seriously here in this manosphere, and I am a Black man, so I think this manosphere is really for us.
Yeah.
So as far as this manosphere is concerned and our issues, we have to look at what is going to directly affect us. Many of these owners are Black men who are owning these businesses. Yes, some Black women will be involved in that as well. So it's a part of our bigger picture. So if you want to be successful, Keisha is not the issue to make you successful and so forth. Can Keisha potentially aid and abet you in these things? All this is possible. But at the end of the day, if we as men are not properly focused on what we have to really achieve, there's going to be a very serious problem here. I think Citizen Lou wants to come up as well, Mike. But
there's a link in the chat.
But that is where we are on this, and we can't lose sight of that. Regardless, I will repeat, regardless what side of the fence you're on, you've got to get on the side, and that is the reality of this political business.
Even if you don't want to vote, right, for POTUS, what about all the other subcategories of elected officials that need to be voted on? What about the Senate? What about Congress? What about City Council? What about your other ancillary positions? I don't get this logic of focusing on every 4 years at the top and waiting for an independent Yeah, these ideas don't make any sense to me at all. This is poor advice being given, and unfortunately, a lot of Black men have fallen victim to misinformation in this space, being misinformed about the issues of the day and worried about Stacey Abrams when you live 3,000 miles away from her. Like, what is going on here, man? Your priorities are all mixed up. And it's only about Black female candidates. It's never worried about, like, how much money can we put behind Gary Chambers, or how much money can we put behind, Warnock or any other congressional or Senate candidate running for office, you never really hear these guys backing black men. They only seem to worry about whether or not black women are running for office or something. And it's like, and worried about independence at the POTUS level. This is unbelievable. You know, you can't make this up. But then they wonder why, you know, folks don't take the space seriously. I mean, when you say that the manosphere is having this big impact, you know, I would agree with you. Yeah, it is having an impact on the ignorance of black men, right? Cultivating a next generation of black men who are ill-equipped to actually deal with the modern and transformational side of society. You know, they don't even know who to vote for or how to participate within the system or how the system even works itself. Really strange. What's going on, Lou?
Hey, what's going on, Mike? Can you hear me?
Chilling, bro. What's going on?
Hey, Lou, what it do?
What it do? What's going on? What's going on, G? Yeah, man. I was hey, Mike, I got them PC parts, man. My CPU will get here Monday. I'm building out my PC. I was just listening to you on the back. I was kind of like 15 minutes behind.
Mm-hmm.
So I realized let me just jump on the panel and chop it up with y'all. Yeah, but man, I definitely I wanted to tell y'all, man. So I was on Twitter and I saw ABL, right? And he was talking about, Trump had $500 billion for black people. And they sent it all to Israel, right? But it's so funny. It's like, bro, okay. So the Republicans have had the Speaker of the House, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where have you seen any legislation that Kevin McCarthy even proposed, or anybody in the Republican Party proposed for $500 billion for black people?
They chopped Kevin McCarthy's head off. That's why he's not there. And then he today said, you know, he's going to resign. There is no place for him within the party. That's how far right the party is.
Yeah, they're done. I mean, you know what? I can't remember this podcast. It's like some conservative podcast. And they basically what they were, I think it's called David Horowitz or something like that. But basically what they were saying is that, hell, they mad that the Republicans are talking to black people. They were saying something like for every 2% gain in the black vote, they lose 4% of the white vote.
Yeah.
So
No, go right ahead.
No, what did you say?
No, go right ahead.
Oh, my bad. No, I thought you. No, because I don't have that substantiated evidence, but they were pretty upset that whole about that thing, and you're right too. It's like all these we got black senator, we got Tim Scott, a black senator. You never hear them talk about him. Like you said, Gary Chambers. That's he ran for Senate in Louisiana, right?
He ran for Congress and Senate.
Yeah. That's one of Louisiana. And then I remember he was talking about how many black people could have, if they would have showed up, he would have been voted. That's right. Like, where's all this impact at? You know what I mean? Just because you can get online and make TikTok shorts and go in on like ratchet congresswomen, that ain't impact. How many people do you help register to vote? Where your email list at? Where's your group of people where's your organizer? What are they talking about?
To your point about Speaker of the House, which is Mike Johnson now, they have not passed any legislation at all. Outside of supporting Israel, they have not passed any legislation. They are not governing for all intents and purposes.
They can't govern, Mike. It's terror. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, bro.
No, I was just saying that they're not governing, and they have not governed since 2016. They have not had any governance at all. And so when I hear people say, "Oh, I made more money on Trump," we've already debunked that 2 days ago. that didn't happen. Okay, these ideas that you have, these are very fanciful ideas, and none of it has ever come to fruition. None of it is true. I'm not telling you who to vote for. I'm not, degrading you for who you voted for. I'm telling you that what you consider to be facts is not true. We've already debunked this, so we don't need to keep going over this over and over and over. But the idea that Republicans are passing legislation that benefits black men, like no-fault divorce. You got a lot of niggas going here claiming MGTOW and SYSBM. How logical is that you would actually support no-fault divorce when you claim not to be getting married in the first place? It doesn't make any sense, man.
Yeah, it doesn't, Mike. And then, I'm glad you said about that. We were getting money under Trump. What you got, an extra $50 on your check? Maybe? Like that's getting money? That $1,000 stimmy, y'all, he bought loyalty with a stimmy. $1,000, all it took for him to buy your loyalty. Like, was y'all really doing that bad? $1,000 changed your whole life? And then why you ain't getting the money now? You ain't got the same job? Hey, Mike, you know they can't talk about them gas prices no more. The
Oh, they
gas price
talking.
that's over with.
Oh, they talking about the price of eggs now. Now all of a sudden, black men are all about poultry and shit. What the fuck?
The price of eggs, milk, and insurance. That's what they're saying.
Yeah.
They think you're mad at that's just God. They think get mad at God about that. Well, I'm thinking of the housing insurance in Florida. That's what I'm thinking about. You probably talking about something else.
Yeah. You know, I mean, let's just take the governor's mansion in several states, run by Republicans. I'm not knocking anybody who wants to vote Republican. I'm just making the observation. DeSantis, you have a person running for who's the governor of Florida who can't even get the necessary support behind him to run for president. Primarily because his policies have not really been all that tangible on the ground. You have Hot Wheels down in Texas, Governor Abbott. Nothing tangible has come from Governor Abbott at all in this election cycle. Not for black people, at least. Maybe if you want to talk about the Second Amendment, that might be one thing, but we're talking about material ideas on the ground. And then when you start talking about Kemp, another empty suit. Youngkin in Virginia, another empty suit. Governor of Arkansas, Huckabee Sanders. Like, for all the conservative...
Tate Reeves in Mississippi.
Yeah, it covered the Tate Reeves in Mississippi. Like, I don't understand all this desire to say black men should take their vote over there and get nothing. But when it comes to the Democrats, we'll just stay home. That's the strategy, to stay home and get nothing and then go over there and put your vote into a place where you get absolutely nothing and then have a zero-sum game and call that a victory. That makes absolutely no sense.
Well, man, you put it perfect, man. I mean, the thing is, Mike, is like what we said, man. I think you said it actually. It's they're appealing to fascism. Because let's keep it 100 grand.
Mm-hmm.
What, the Republicans haven't won the majority vote since what, 04? Mm-hmm. Bush, right? That was the last time they won a majority vote. They can't win. They cannot win through legislation. They cannot win through democracy. The only way they can do it is through fascism. They have to stop people from voting. They have to take people's rights away. They have to stack the Supreme Court with conservatives. They have to obstruct, you know what I mean? Like, obstruct people's rights and put these like crazy ass judges in and have these like slave state rules where people with felonies can't. They have to do this stuff.
Hold on. I want to say this. Okay, Lou, what you're saying, from how these guys were operating, you're correct. But see, they didn't have to do this. They chose to take this path, the Republican Party leadership. That's why Michael Steele ultimately became the RNC party, National Party chair during the, very early on during the Obama years, because what Michael Steele's job more or less was to help to bring more black people and extend more blacks and other minorities, if you say, as folks want to call them, minorities, but certainly he was about black people, because the power of the black vote came out so strong during the Obama times. It was devastating. So the Republicans were actually thinking properly at that moment and put a black chair in the head to say, let's get more black people into the party. But you had a core inside of the Republican Party base, and I'm talking about the real Hill people, the Capitol Hill folks who really were not down with a lot of that, who didn't want to actually broaden the base. What they said was, forget about bringing people, more black people in. We don't want to broaden the base. What we will now do is shrink our base and then utilize the apparatus of of our government. That's why they're strictly based in power right now. It's about power. It's not broad governance. It's about power, where they can come in and then change the system by them grabbing, a lot of control of the institution and denying those who are not what they would like to see out of the party and have it not function and have you not function that way. So it came through basically, disenfranchisement, and removing many out of the process for them to win. They made a conscious choice not to expand the base, and then consequently got rid of Michael Steele. Got rid of him, brought in Rance Priebus, and then they played their whole game from there. And that's what we've seen. After the Obama victory, and he was there for 2 terms, the party boiled down to a vicious, savage hub. And this is what you see, a very savage group of extremists to a large extent. And they're very extreme now in the party.
No, you're 1,000% right. Well, I guess I'm just going to say this real quick. What I meant to say with Mike Cohen, he said weak men appeal to fascism. That's what I should start it off with that.
And you're right. You're right about that. You're right about that.
Yeah, Mike said that perfectly because Mike, you asked what's the point in all that? That's what it is. Weak men. Trump got big bones. Remember that. That's what that appeals to Trump.
That's him. He got big balls. I mean, really, is that right? Is that right?
Well, the thing here, to your point, Nagone, about Michael Steele, the Republican Party did an autopsy of 2008, and they saw what happened with McCain and what's her face, Sarah Palin. And they had to do an analysis, a statistical data analysis on the vote. They saw that if the numbers keep trending in the direction that it was for the Democratic Party, that they would never, ever win an election beyond 2012. There would be no way that they would be able to win because they just don't have the numbers. The majority of Republicans that vote or conservatives that vote tend to be boomers, okay, or very old Gen Xers. Below that, they don't have the millennials and the Gen Zs and the alphas. They're not voting Republican. They're not voting conservative. Okay, that's where the shift is happening, and they cannot go 2 more election cycles like this. They are a finished party. They cannot survive with the vote that they have, the demographics that they have. It's impossible unless they, like Citizen Lou and like how you're articulating, is that they start jerry-rigging the vote so that so that Democrats can't win. That's the only way that they can actually function within the system, is by gerrymandering the system. And so I don't think that Black men really understand that there is no place for you over there. Every Black man that has gone over there has been pretty much decapitated. What happened to Herman Cain in 2012 when he rise to stardom, he was quickly knocked down with a Me Too before there was even Me Too. Okay. He was the first victim of it. Taking into consideration what happened with Michael Steele, taking into consideration what happened with Colonel West down in Texas GOP. What's his name? Allen West. Okay. What happened to J.C. Watts? Like, where are all these Black men who went over there? From a transition standpoint, where are they at now? They're nowhere to be found. Right now, the darling of the party is Byron Donalds. And we don't know how long his career is going to be because he's backing up George Santos, but the the majority of the Republicans have already decapitated this guy. Like, there's nothing going on that side right now that is enticing to Black men. When you say Black men should vote their interests, what interest on that side that could be manifested for Black men? I don't understand that statement. I mean, it sounds good in theory, but where do you actually make heads or tails as to what you're getting out of that? When you look at the Democrats' track record right now, look at Kristen Clark in the Department of Justice and in the Civil Rights Division. She's been making major victories on the ground for Black folks. I don't understand how anybody can say that the party isn't doing anything when there's all sorts of evidence and examples of these victories actually happening on the ground. I mean, you don't get, a lot of these investigations into police malpractice and systemic malpractice within the system without a Kristen Clark. She's really been the darling of the DOJ, not Merrick Garland.
Yeah, Mike, what about Daniel Cameron over there in Kentucky? He got smoked. A Democrat smoked him.
Yeah.
I ain't hear any, wasn't no conservative hours talking about that. Wasn't no
and he was married to a white woman. He's married. That's what he's the prototypical version of what they should be supporting. And they didn't even, you don't see any streams about that in the manosphere. And so
his wife, Mitch McConnell's niece.
Is that who she is?
Yeah, she's like Mitch McConnell's like great grand niece or something like that.
Wow, I didn't know that.
So I mean, this is man, you're on the money with this. I don't understand what they be talking like. What is there over there? If you bring a 12-point, 13-point, 14, 15, 20-point agenda for Black men, you think what's that crazy ass dude, Mike, Ohio, the Republican, Jordan?
Oh, Jim Jordan.
Jim Jordan.
Y'all really think Jim Jordan is going to entertain that? Like, let's keep it real. Let's be honest.
Mm-hmm. Like, no. None of those guys are. You bring an agenda that's really going to put Black men's interests more in there. They're not going, because that agenda would be in many ways, it would be more by its nature more progressive, just by the fact that you're being included into the process and working more towards your interests. It would be more of a progressive agenda. They would not want to support that at all. And of course, let's not talk about just the racial aspects of what we are seeing inside of the Republican Party as well, even though those are trying to speak against racism and so forth. When we look at any bit of their policy, especially from the voting rights standpoint, where they are trying to restrict your ability at this stage to even to fight against discrimination against your vote. They're passing laws that are saying we can discriminate on you as a voter, and literally you can't fight against that. And they're pushing that specifically. Why did that happen after this election? And this is going to impact places like Wisconsin very heavily. It's going to impact, of course, Pennsylvania, Michigan, all right. These key swing states where you are the difference, Georgia, and so they want this moved so you can be weakened, and that's literally on a racial line type of process. Even though it's not out front, it's almost like another Southern strategy, if you will, once again being moved against you. And see, a lot of us are not really watching this the way we need to. Mm-hmm. And certainly here in this manosphere, the absolute, almost what I would call excoriating ignorance on this is in some respects almost terrifying, that this is not even being addressed at a competent or even or at a level that this is even being made to be cogent. It's not being expressed, and we have to really talk about this a lot more. Go ahead, Mike.
What about John James out in Michigan? But you don't hear Black men, in this space who claim to be all about supporting Black men actually backing up that Black man. I mean, this guy was at one point, he was Trump endorsed and lost. And then he came back around and won the next election cycle. And so this is what I'm saying, man. Like all of this, bickering about, independent candidates, at the POTUS level. I don't get the the rationale behind the discussion at all. It's just, to me, it's immaterial. If you're not supporting the candidates locally, you know, at the ground level, it doesn't make any sense to talk about POTUS, because POTUS is a long way up. And unfortunately, we don't support enough of local candidates who can actually make some serious impact. There's a lot of positions elected positions that candidates can run on. You know, we talked about this years ago, that the school board is the first place Black men should be at, which is where Gary Chambers cut his teeth.
That's right.
Yet folks didn't back Gary Chambers.
Well, the big problem, Mike, is, like I said, I saw Gary Chambers on it earlier this week. Talking about this restaurant and which has been a very positive force in their community. Mm-hmm. But yet, you have you have the Caucasoids trying to literally shut them down. But when we speak about much of our politics locally, many of these people who are out here talking all this craziness, they don't know who their local political people are. They don't even know probably what the local issues are, really. And they're not involved at all. They're not involved. That's the problem. And that's what you're seeing here. You're seeing all kind of bull crap, but then they'll go off and talk about the G20 or something else like that, some of the crapola, but will not know what the hell is going on right around in your town, right downtown, 4 or 5 miles from you, your town council or so forth. They don't know, and they don't care. So that is our problem. And Gary Chambers was speaking about that last week with respect to this restaurant, whose name I forget currently. It's off the top of my head, but it's a Black Southern food, style restaurant that is doing very well and looking to be eliminated in the community. Black men own it, and they're trying to literally use the political methods to now eliminate them once they have totally failed in the courts. So the courts threw all that stuff out. Now they're trying to politically remove them, and it's possible that this can be done if people are not registered to come out and vote and to look at some of these proposals that they can be putting on to help to eliminate businesses like this and move them out of communities that they don't want them in.
Let me ask a question.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I was wondering if you guys could actually explore like deeper why, because you made such valid points about us not knowing about even the local people right down the street. We don't know, we don't care. The part that we don't care, and I agree with you, that's not good. But just like the Gary Chambers, the only thing I've heard that he, in Louisiana, he's a Democrat. The people hate Democrats right now.
Yeah, but that's not necessarily true for the last couple of election cycles. Remember, John Kennedy was a Democrat at one point before he became a Republican. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
It's about a power grab for those folks over there. The same thing happened in North Carolina recently with a white woman who was a Democrat, switched parties and became a Republican in that area to give the Republicans a supermajority. This is a part of the issue, is that a lot of Black people are not paying attention to the actual local politic that matters. That's why I said, arguing about the independent vote doesn't make any sense if you're not already participating in the system as it is. What do you all this?
Well,
that situation that happened on Art Newstall's panel didn't need to happen. Someone decided that they were going to take the gloves off. That's a problem. That's problematic.
Yeah, but I think that I won't say arguing. I do agree with you there, but the debate about the independent, I think that's valid, especially on the local level. There are independents who've gotten office and held office
Yeah, but not at the
Of
POTUS
course,
level.
not
That's
POTUS. Of
yeah,
course,
not
of
yeah,
course.
yes.
That.
I
I'm
mean,
just talking about what focusing
I like
on that local situation.
My bad,
and
I
you
like
also
to
have you also have to
correct you.
understand.
My apologies.
Oh, I'm
That
sorry.
she's not. She's not. Really,
Go ahead.
yeah, I just want to. My bad, Shauna. Shauna, thank you for correcting me. I didn't. I missed. My bad. Yeah, Daniel Corman's wife is not related to Mitch McConnell. He just was at the wedding. I had to retract that. Thank
Okay.
you, Shauna. Go ahead, y'all. Go ahead.
I just wanted to say this as well. You also have to understand in politics, and that's why we say, organizing and so forth is very important. There's a very large financial aspect to where politics is right now. And what they're trying to do is literally flood this game as a money game to buy just strictly dollars and move it away a little bit, move it away from just the average voter having that power in their hands. So you have those that you're saying it's independent. Yes, we have independent people and so forth, but the big part of that is who's also going to give them the big money to win, and that's a big part of the game that you must think about, or you may not have considered that at all because you may not understand how the system works so well upon that. But you have to understand money is the mother's milk of politics. So the big parties play a huge role in that big money raise, especially when you start to look at the POTUS level of politics. Even moving
facts, man.
Even moving into the Senate, or like in my district, my congressman, Bowman, that's a $5 million seat at least if you're going to try to run for Congress, that's on the cheap.
That's such a key point, Nagon. That's such a key point. So the independents cannot raise enough money. So even if you do run independent, it doesn't fucking matter, man. That's the part that I'm trying to, we're trying to hammer this home, but these, folks don't seem to get this part. Where are your donors coming from if you don't have any party architecture?
Not going to accept that, and I'm going to push back just a little bit, and it's not to be just
they don't understand how that works.
Guys, but
go ahead.
And I believe what you're saying, but let me say this here.
I can't hear him. I don't know if he's breaking up.
I think he's, I think he's I think he has bad reception. But the point that we're making here is that parties provide infrastructure. That's what the DNC provides. That's what the RNC provides.
People don't like to hear that, so you're off-putting, and that's fine if that's what you intend to do. But also, it blinds you to something as well. You're not seeing that people don't want to hear it anymore. Okay, as far as the Democrat and the money thing. So I'm getting specific on what I'm talking about here. The money thing, the money point that you guys made, the money point.
Well,
the money is the fact. Okay, it's a fact. It's a fact. I know this. What you're going to probably say. It's a fact. It's just a reality of the system. The system.
Okay, so
anymore. Okay.
Explain to me, citizens. Explain to me, Citizens United. Explain to me, Citizens United. I'll wait.
That's off-putting. It's combative, but I understand where you're getting at. Let's go. Go ahead.
Dude, I don't know what I'm confused.
Because I'm actually trying to be honest, a sincere conversation.
No. I'm asking you. I'm asking you
to insult you.
Okay. I'm asking you a very serious question. Very serious question.
Okay.
What about Citizens United?
Okay, now Citizens United. Make sure that I understand what you're talking about. It's a political action committee, right? They can also it's a law or something like that where people can donate or companies can donate unlimited amounts, right, to candidates. Is that something that am I getting close to that, or do you need to explain more detail to me about that?
Yeah, I mean that's basically.
No. Go ahead. Continue.
Did I get that correct? Because I want to have a sincere conversation, so I want to make sure that I'm understanding
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's basically it.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Continue. Yeah.
So the thing is, that was a controversy when that first, I believe, when that first was about to get decided upon.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why it was a controversy because people knew that where it would headed.
Mm-hmm.
That puts the oligarchs in control. And this is why when you guys are saying this is how the system works, people are not wanting it. They want something different. And so when you're now you keep trying to force something, they're going to fight that. And that's why people are checking out of the system, as you say. So just another reason. So if independence, people are going for that. They're going to try it. It might not work. Okay. But if you want to keep forcing something down their mouths, which is in control by people who, because if you buy a politician, they're not going to be responsive to the people. They're going to be responsive to the person who bought them.
How many votes did
I don't know. I'm just telling you
you
right
don't
now.
know?
I don't know.
Hold on. You don't know? All right.
I don't know.
Yeah,
All right.
Just
Okay.
get to the point, because I'm not trying to debate y'all. I'm trying to actually have a sincere conversation.
But the thing here is
it's just a question. I'm asking a question.
Yeah, but the thing here,
just educate me on it. Yeah, because like I said, I like the point that you made about people checking out and not caring. But it seems from per your conversation that you guys were kind of interested in changing that. So I kind of represent one of those people. So yeah, please don't talk down to me. Just go ahead and educate the person, and maybe they'll see your point.
No one's talking down to you, or no one's attempting to talk down to you. We're trying to have a conversation here, and you have a little bit of an attitude about some of this. And
well, yeah, I'm just telling you why it's a little. But go ahead.
I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, you are kind of being hostile with the way you kind of. We could have a. When you ask about this, I tell you, yeah, you were right. You're right on money. Yep. So I mean, I'm here to have a conversation with you, but I think the goal is too. You are getting a little hostile. So earlier, I'm going to ask you a question, right? So earlier you said people are tired of hearing about the money. Is that what you said?
Yes.
Did I get that
yes.
correct? Could you expand on that? I mean, I kind of understand what you're saying, but that's kind of how it is. Could you expand on that though? You said they're tired of hearing about the money.
Yeah, I can go more into detail what I'm talking about there. Okay, so listen. If you tell me something can't happen, okay, and you're saying the money, and then you say Citizens United, which anybody who was aware of that controversy, most people that I know of didn't want that. That should be illegal. You shouldn't be able to donate unlimited amounts of money into our political system. That's just going to, we already know that's going to create compromised candidates who don't respond properly to the people. And so, but it happened, right? And so when someone says that this is just how the system works, you have to accept it. Okay, well,
yeah, that's how the game is played. Like in basketball, right? Some people didn't like when they added the 3-point line. Some people didn't like it. Some people did, and but you got to adapt. And the reason why you brought up Citizens United is because you said people are tired of hearing about the money, and Citizens United was relevant because it's about the money. That's the relevance of bringing up Citizens United. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I didn't say it wasn't relevant. I'm like I said, I'm not trying to be combative. It might sound like I am, but I feel kind of a little bit like someone's being combative with me. So it kind of responds that. So like I said before, I'm trying to have the conversation, and I didn't say it's not relevant. I just wanted to make sure that I understood, that because he brought that up. I remember it, but I didn't know if I got it correct. That's why I was just going through it.
Yeah, and all I was saying was he brought it up to your point of saying people are tired of hearing about the money. You can't be tired. It's all about the money.
Yeah, Trump
It's all about
Trump supporters were giving him $60 plus a week, man. Like to say that people are tired of hearing about the money, Trump supporters seem to give a whole lot of money to Trump.
Okay.
Didn't he raise $200 million, Mike?
Yeah, he raised $7 million just from the mugshot alone. Folks sending him money. So this idea that people are tired of hearing money, they're tired of the system.
Okay, wait. What people are you trying to get though? Okay, the people that it seem like the people that you're talking to, a big part of them, probably Trump would not be their ideal choice.
But we're
they
not
would
talking
settle
about
for Trump.
We're not talking about Trump being an ideal choice. We're
Okay.
talking about money in politics.
Oh, I understand that. But I'm saying
Trump is just an
Okay,
example.
okay.
Trump is an
Okay.
example of money in politics.
Okay,
That's all.
and I understand. Okay, but the only reason why I kind of interjected on that point is because when you start to say people are you I guess you brought that up to say people are not tired of hearing about money.
No, they're
I
not.
don't know if that's what your intentions were. Okay,
No, they're
okay,
not.
the people that support Trump, but I'm saying
The
that
people that support the party.
there are people who want to change how the system works. Okay. And because a lot of folks keep telling them they can't change how that system works. Okay.
Yeah, from their position, they cannot change the system.
Okay.
From their position, they cannot change the system.
And that's the reason why I believe that goes back to when, you guys were talking about those smaller issues on the local level, why people end up checking out and not caring. And so that's all I'm saying. Those are the two issues that are getting attention. I'll say it that way.
Okay. No, I mean, I think that when you have a lot of people who decide to stay home and not really participate, I don't think they should have an opinion in the conversation at all. I think that, you forfeit your ability to participate in the conversation when you forfeit your ability to participate within the system itself. I don't see why, independent candidates never breach more than 1.5% of the vote. If you look at the numbers, especially the last 3 election cycles since Obama.
Okay, what kind of election are you talking about there?
Everything below POTUS. Everything below POTUS, they don't go past 1.5%.
There are independent candidates, I think we did point out earlier, who have successfully, won office and who are currently in various offices around the country. Independent candidates, third party candidates.
They are the exception to the rule. They are the exception to the rule. When you look at the majority of races, you can look at the most recent race in Ohio. Look at the candidates on the ballot. They don't go past 1.5%. That's it. They don't get a majority vote. Even the Green Party doesn't get a significant boost in the polls like that.
So you say that to say what? That resistance is futile.
That the idea that folks are looking for independent candidates is not true. It's not empirically founded. There's no empirical evidence that you're going to be able to provide right now to substantiate that point.
Okay, but you actually believe that is a winning argument to people who that's going to bring people over. I'm just trying to look at trying to get your
bring them over to what? Bring them over to what?
Get accepted by more people. I mean, the position of mentality that you believe that may be more advantageous if more people accept it. Are they going to listen to you because you said they have no other options? Basically, that's what you're getting them to understand. So you might as well just go ahead and just, do what we tell you or something.
You have to understand how the system works first before you can actually check out, right?
Oh, really?
You can't say that, well, I'm dissatisfied with Joe Biden, so therefore I'm going to stay home. Well, what about all the other candidates on the ballot? Well, I'm only looking for independent candidates. Well, those independent candidates don't go past 1%. What like?
Okay, so how are we going to get them past 1% if we don't vote for them?
What are you voting on?
Okay, we're voting to have more diversity in the system because we're sick of
That's
the way it is.
that's not a winning strategy.
Oh, okay. It's not about what your idea of winning. See, what your main issues, okay, might not be as important, to someone else. It's, basically people have different top issues. I'll say it that way. Some people, to them, it is more important to vote, and take a loss and take a hit just to go ahead and get something new happening,
What's something new? What does that mean?
Like I said, third parties. Okay, we already know
you already have multiple.
We want them viable now. So yeah,
but independents don't have a party.
Viable. Okay, well,
independents don't have a party.
Okay, we want that's so okay. We're talking about third parties. We want the independents to get a little bit more powerful and to get more viable.
Well, that's where ranked choice voting. That's where ranked choice voting comes in.
Okay, well, people don't know that terminology. I'm not familiar with that terminology, so
no. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you don't even understand the terminology, you don't.
Okay, so basically, like that terminology that you just said, I guarantee you, if I ran a poll of about let's just say 1 million Black people, they probably, how many people would understand that language that you just said, ranked choice voting? Would your grandmother? I'm just saying. So these are the people that you want to vote for you, but then you tell them, because they don't understand what ranked choice voting means off the rip like that, they shouldn't have an opinion.
I'm saying that was the whole purpose of ranked choice voting, to put those candidates at the top of the ballot.
Okay, well, thank you for educating me. See that? Yeah, now, okay. I feel better that you did that, though. You told me what it meant, so.
That's why this whole discussion about independence is fucking stupid.
Well, to you, and I understand that.
No, not to me. No, not to me.
This is your opinion. Come on, admit that.
No, it's not. It's
you
not
can
an
admit
opinion.
that.
It's
you
not
can
an
admit
opinion.
that. Come on now, you can admit that. To you, that's an opinion.
No,
that's the definition of an opinion. Come on now.
No, it's not an opinion. If I just told you, is it an
opinion?
Come on, listen, man, you're gonna have to stop talking. You're gonna have to stop talking over us.
But come on, you can admit that. That's an opinion.
Listen,
that is an opinion.
Listen, I just told you, you're gonna have to stop talking over us.
So you're getting angry because.
Listen. You're trolling us now because you're not looking for us.
I'm not trolling you, but
no, you're talking. You're
saying something that's stupid. But that's
talking over us. Listen, you're talking over us.
All right.
Yeah, you gotta let the conversation flow.
I mean, you have to do that because that level of aggression. Well, I think Super Mike left. He took off. He was trying to troll. So he was a troll, and of course he came in with no facts. Really, he didn't know anything, and he's trying to push forward a certain narrative that when you question it and you bring it to scrutiny, of course, it collapses. So therefore he ran off. I do I respect it? No, but this is what trolls do.
Yeah, they said that Gish galloping on the panel, not letting you get, come on, I'm not, and then trying to diffuse it like, y'all getting combative with me. No, bro, you just saying like incorrect and wrong shit. The independents will never have any type of legitimate presence in any election. There's only 3 independents. He said that all these independents, there's only 3 in the Senate.
You can look at the statistics, Lou. You can look at the statistics from the last 2020 election cycle. That in that election cycle, independents did not break more than 1.5%. That's why they're having all this conversation about independent didn't make any sense when you already have fucking ranked choice voting in most of these states. It's so stupid.
Yeah, and what these guys don't thoroughly understand about the 2-party system, and this is a big part of why we have the 2-party, and a lot of guys, and you haven't made other parties illegal, okay? Because that was because some countries have that, but we have fundamentally a 2-party system. But the advantage of the system is that it helps to basically ensure, that the two main parties in power have a very wide platform, that represents, a very, that represents the general public for all practical purposes. The two parties would be so large that there's room for every type of political position to exist within that system. That's why we have a two-party system, but we have other parties that, as I had mentioned before, are a part of this. That's just a part of that's a part of the process. That's why we consider our democracy and our system to be the most advantageous. And of course, there are all kind of questions about this, and people can question this here or there, but 81 million people voted for Biden. You had 70 some odd million vote for Trump, and you had a very wide swath of people in there. So that's the game. That's how we're playing. But when you have some of these other jokers that come up here and want to play and goof around and talk smack, but yet are just not equipped to really have a good conversation, this is what you get. And this is the state of Black politics amongst many Black men in this country. We should do better. We should be able to do better than that. We've got to do better.
Yeah.
Let me just play.
Go ahead, bro.
No, I was just going to play this clip real quick because I think that it's relevant to what we saw on Art Newstall's panel.
Quit the tough guy act in these Senate hearings. You know where to find me. Any place, anytime, cowboy. Sir, this is a time, this is a place. If you want to run your mouth, we can be two consenting adults. We can finish it here.
Okay, that's fine. Perfect.
You want to do it now?
I'd love to do it right now.
Well, stand your butt up then.
You stand your butt up.
Oh, hold on.
Big
No,
guy.
no, stop it.
Is that your solution, every
Hold it. No, sit down. Sit down. Look at you. You're a United States Senator. Sit down.
Active.
Oh, okay.
Sit down, please.
All right.
Can I respond, Mr.
Hold
Chairman?
it. Hold it. If
Hold
we
on.
can't,
This
no,
is
I have
what
the
he
mic.
said.
I'm sorry.
This is
Hold
what
it.
he said.
You'll have your time.
Okay.
Can I respond?
Oh, no, you can't. This is a hearing. And God knows the American people have enough of contempt for Congress. Let's not
I don't
make
like
it worse.
thugs and
You-
bullies.
You have,
And that's
you
what-
have
I don't
the
like
mic.
you because you
Hold
just
it.
described yourself.
Hold it. You have the mic.
Yeah.
You have time.
All right.
Make your statement.
Then let's do this, because I did challenge you and I accepted your challenge, and you went quiet.
No, I didn't go quiet.
Hold on.
You challenged me to a cage match,
No,
acting
no,
like a
sir.
12-year-old schoolyard
Hold it.
bully.
Excuse
Sir,
me.
hold on.
Hold it. No, excuse me. I have the
I
mic.
will say exactly.
Senator
what you
Mullen,
said.
I have the mic. You have questions on any economic issues, anything that say, go for it. We're not here to talk about physical abuse.
You brought.
We're not
him
talking
in.
about, of course I
And,
did.
and let me show you his hearing, because I want to expose this thug to who he is. And
Could you not
2013
point at me? That's disrespectful.
I don't care about respecting you at all. I
don't
people that
respect you at all.
respect. So
All right, hold it.
let me
Hold it. No,
Is that not what we saw on Art Newstall's panel? Art being
Yeah. BGS was, crash.
Art being Bernie Sanders in this.
Yeah, he was trying to shut it. Yeah, I mean, that was crazy. I saw that when y'all played it. I was like, yeah, he started crashing out, man. It happened to me. I was over there. The last time I was over there, we were talking about AI, and he was just crashing out too. He don't like being challenged. He don't like, if you're not one of them eat more grandbabies, you know what I mean? You're not, you gotta let BGS is right always and forever. You can't give any pushback. And BMT came with that smoke. That didn't really smoke, just facts, really. I mean, he just asked him a simple question. And it got to low IQ, smoke your herb, and all that nonsense.
That is usually the sign that you've already lost. And the thing here, this isn't a personal attack on anybody on the panel. It's, because we've had conversations with political conversations with BMT. I think he's been a good sport for all intents and purposes. And he claims to be a conservative. That's his role. I don't have any qualms about that. We've had conservatives on the Brain Trust in the past, and the discussions have gone pretty. They were pretty copacetic, if I had to say so myself. And so I don't think that we have a problem with conservatives. I don't think that we have a problem engaging in these discussions. I think the problem here is like what you just heard from Super Mike on the panel, is just a lack of comprehension of how the system works. And there's an unwillingness to learn the system too. You know, this idea, well, let's just get more independent candidates. Well, that's the whole purpose of ranked choice voting, is to make candidates on the ballot more equitable from a choice standpoint. But if you don't even understand that, talking about independent candidates don't make any sense. Talking about independent candidates at the POTUS level doesn't make any sense. Talking about independent candidates below the POTUS level doesn't make any sense when you don't even support the candidates that's already running. It doesn't make any sense, man. It's just a conversation that's meant to filibuster, and it's a jack-off session for all intents and purposes, man. And it really grinds my gears and feels like nails to a chalkboard when I hear brothers really getting involved in these discussions and claiming that, you know, they're willing to have, bring women to the table to negotiate, man. It's really strange.
I disagree with you, Mike. I have a very huge problem with black conservatives. We disagree on that, brother. I have a strong disdain for black conservatives. I mean, they're disingenuous. They lie. They're, they obfuscate real stuff with nonsense like culture warrior bullshit. They don't speak on any legislation. They don't, like you said earlier, they don't speak on any actual black conservatives in the in office, state, not even state legislature, federal, Senate, Congress. They ain't even watching these Republican debates. They're all just in their bootlickers, they're conformists. They acquiesce to the status quo. Like you said earlier, the GOP is the status quo. They're billionaire bootlickers. But I'm trying to, keep it. I don't want to get too obscene on here because I respect y'all platform. But they're just the absolute worst, dog. I mean, and they're despicable. They're especially the ones that talk about the LGBTQ all the time. They're suspect. They're confused, and they just bring this nonsense to other people. Other black, y'all on that Democrat plantation. Mind you, there was Republicans talking about they wish the plantations were back. They do it in Oklahoma, so they want to get back to lynching. They said we need to get back to it. So I'm like, I can't respect that. I can't respect black men who kowtow and just do stuff like I gotta disagree with you, Mike. No, I do have a problem because what are you conserving? What are you standing on? Talk about I'm a fiscal conservative. Republicans always run up the deficit. What are you talking about? So that's null and void. Oh, I'm socially conservative. What does that mean? They got gay people in the Republican Party. So the Supreme Court ain't rolled back none of those LGBTQ wedding marriage. Where they can get married. So what are you talking about? All you want to do is go in on you a Keisha conservative. Only time they stand up is to go in on Keisha. It's just against the black woman. That's the only reason why they're not even with the left, quote, or the Democrat, whatever they want to say, progressive. That's because of Keisha. They see black women over there, and they can't stand it.
Damn, Lou. Damn.
Yeah, I think Lou just hit a home run and took us home, man.
Somebody said passive aggressive. Oh yeah. Like
I believe he did.
I refuse to get this dude any. I ain't gonna say his name on his platform, but this dude, they'll just say stuff like black people this, all these disparaging things about black people, IQ, all that stuff, right? But then they won't say anything about white people. Period. They won't say anything about white people.
Yeah.
Because they all talk about race. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was disagreeing with you.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you, Lou. Lou, you hitting it. You hitting it kind of hard right now.
No, I'm just keeping. It's just sad, man. Like you see what's going on. Like young people, like you said, like Gen Z, millennial. It's actually inverse. You know how they say the older you get, the more conservative you get. No, actually, what's going on with millennials? The older we get, the more radical we get. The more radical it is. Actually, we mad as hell. And then we see these Republicans doing anything and everything they can, and they just like they mad. Like what's that Boner that Colorado, that chick in Colorado, Lauren Boebert,
Lauren Boebert.
Lauren Boebert.
Yeah. Boebert, yeah, Lauren Boebert. She mad about working from home, which is a revolutionary labor. It's revolutionary labor. She about some. She want with the Social Security. She's like, oh, y'all got people working from home still, and yada yada yada. All these backlogs, and it's like, bro, that is first of all, that's not a reason why it's backlogged. And they try to pass some bill to make all the federal workers go back to the office because basically the federal government is like the biggest, has the highest remote workforce in America. I didn't know that. But yeah, if you work for the government, there's a high chance you're gonna be able to work remote. So I'm like, everything they do is just like it's just obstructing freedom, obstructing economics, obstructing the future. So I have zero respect. I mean, I think they all need. I mean, they'll get their wake up call eventually. Like you said, Alan West got his, and all them other guys. They'll get theirs eventually, but it's just.
Super Mike in the chat says none of this matters to our day to day, but it doesn't make any sense because an independent candidate needs to have a supermajority to pass any bills. You don't just pass bills independently. It's not how it works. And see, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think there's a lack of fundamental understanding of how the system works. You think Kristen Sinema in Arizona as an independent, you think she's passing bills on her own in the House? I mean, in the Senate? No, it's not happening, man. That's like, why is this so difficult for Black people, especially Black men, to understand? Like, what's the difficulty here?
It's man, Mike. I was talking to a dude. He didn't even know what a state legislator was, Mike.
Who?
He did not know there was a difference between. He did not know there was a difference between your state legislator and like the federal legislator.
Yeah, state reps and state senators.
Yeah, he had no idea there were state senators.
Unbelievable.
I mean,
this is what we dealing with.
Yeah.
The state of as I said, Black politics, especially with respect to Black men, and when we start to really drill it down here to this smaller, microcosm here in the Black manosphere, it's tough. It's a rough scene. So we really need to consistently have good conversations and keep talking about a lot of this, and try to get more and more brothers involved and have more and more brothers understand what's going on. Lou, I remember you a while back, and you would come around and you had some differing views about things, and nobody's got a problem with differing views, but you seem to have really, you seem to have gotten a far better understanding of the political system. You seem to be a lot wiser about it. And I just think this is what we all should be doing, at a basic level, is get a little brighter about get brighter about what's going on around us, especially, a couple of blocks down the street from your house. You got to at least get an idea of what's going on around there, and
you know what?
We've got to push that.
I'm glad you brought that up, because my dad is just like you, Mike, and MOT, like just like y'all, right? I mean, politically active, political knowledge out the roof, is all that stuff, right? But I guess what you would say I was like libertarian due to dissatisfaction of the political system. But the reason was because, for one, I wasn't really involved, and two, I wasn't because I was a what they call Bernie bro back in college.
Wow.
Yeah, that's cool.
When that whole
Yeah, go ahead, family.
Oh yeah, no, I would say I was like a Bernie bro back then, and then when that whole thing fell apart, I was all mad, and I was about to I was like down with the system type stuff, right? But yeah, once you start like actually getting involved with the things that you actually care about, I started understanding what I needed to know and started paying attention. I was like, oh man, this ain't it, bro. This libertarian, all that goof ass shit. None of that is right. I mean, it's first off, libertarian are just soft fascists. I mean, I learned it the hard way. I had to go through the hard way. I had to go through the school of hard knocks to get centered ground. I'm like, yeah, man. That's why I push so hard on it, man, because I understand I understand, where they're coming from. It's straight political dissatisfaction, and through dissatisfaction, you get ignorance. Either or, right? Either you're dissatisfied due to ignorance, or you're willfully ignorant due to dissatisfaction.
Yeah,
that's that's extraordinarily accurate.
But the thing here is, there's a channel on YouTube, man, called Crash Course, and it teaches.
Yeah, I love that channel.
That's a great channel.
It teaches civics and government at the most basic level, man. It's kind of like Khan Academy for civics, and so. In it's short clips. It's only like 5 or 10 minute clips, sometimes 15 minutes. It's really not that difficult. Because people can sit in a 2, 3, 4 hour live stream talking about bringing women to a table, but proverbial table, but you can't spend 15 minutes looking at a clip to understand how the system works. That's why I'm like, I can't respect that. I can't respect that. You want all of these these fanciful ideas to come to fruition that doesn't actually have any real world value, because the only way an independent candidate is going to be able to have the ability to pass legislation at the executive level is either at the mayoral or the gubernatorial level. And, we don't see, I mean, I'm looking at the numbers right now. There are no candidates at the governor level, at the governor's mansion, or in a leadership position, Speaker of the House or anything like that. I think there's only one Speaker of the House. Yeah, there's only one Speaker of the House, and it doesn't revolve around Black people's voting districts. So I don't get why there's such a desire to push for these candidates when the reality is they don't exist for a reason. You can't run for president. Look at Joe Jurgensen ran for president in 2020, and she only got like 1.5% of the vote, and she was a libertarian.
I remember somebody I know voted for her, but they were in California, so it didn't matter.
Yeah. And so when I hear people say, well, we should have more of these candidates, what are you talking about? The candidates that's already running, you're not supporting them anyways.
Yeah, man, lack of knowledge, I mean, this space, man, they talking about, I told you Keisha conservative. If it don't hurt Keisha, they ain't for it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it says it right here. Joe Jurgensen in 2020 got 1.2% of the national vote. 1.2%.
One of those swing states, she kind of was making it kind of difficult too during that 2020 election, right? I think it was it Wisconsin or Arizona? It was one of them states. She kind of almost took a lot of votes away.
Yeah, anything greater than 1.7%, it becomes becomes an alarm, starts setting off alarm bells. And so she got more than Gary Johnson, right, in 2016. And Gary Johnson was a buffoon. And so all these independent candidates don't necessarily materialize into anything. Like, you're not going to have an independent party, because independent of what are you talking about? If you're independent, you don't have a party. So how can you have an independent party? What is going on here? Like, what is? Yeah, I don't get it, man. I just find it entertaining. But we try to utilize these discussions that you see on other panels as a teaching moment as to how not to engage in what the facts are on the ground. And Rand Paul and Ron Paul were both members of the Republican Party. They were not independent. That's the facts. So whether or not you support, I would support Ron Paul or Rand Paul, whichever one you got confused with, neither one of them were independent. They were both members of the Republican Party. And so all this talk about independent talk is just filibustering, doesn't really lead to anything, meant to burn up time on the clock so that, you can dominate the conversation and not really provide anything tangible to the discussion itself. And I mean, once the gloves came off, that was the like the hat in the ear, like in Alabama, threw the hat in the ear, is ready to throw down. So that's what we're dealing with here. So I hope people understand that, we're not here to attack anybody personally, but I think that we have to point out the inconsistencies in these arguments, the logical fallacies and a lot of the erroneous errors that are being made as to what happened and how it happened and whatnot. And let's try to actually have some conversations of substance rather than talking about things that, it's not going to manifest in 2024. So why even talk about it? Talking about Robert F. Kennedy, not going to happen. Okay. Democrats are never going to carry Robert F. Kennedy. They'll never drop Biden for Robert F. Kennedy. Never going to happen.
Nah, it's not gonna happen. That's just another troll candidate. He from that QAnon camp, and with the whole conspiracies and the medical stuff, and he just on some just a pure troll. I think they had him. He was like lifting weights or something, to get votes. It was, bro. It's a pure joke.
He's a Reddit candidate, man.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, that's perfect. A Reddit candidate, 4chan type. Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna get up out of here, man. I'm gonna finish up this PC, man. I'm just finish building this mug out, man. I was good chopping up with y'all, brothers.
Is it water cooled or air cooled?
I got a Thermalite cooler, air cooler. It's not a water cooler.
Okay.
Should I have gotten one?
Nah, you stick with what's working. If it's working fine, then don't.
I haven't built it out yet. My CPU don't get here until Monday. I got my motherboard and I got everything else. My CPU don't get here until Monday. I got that 7600 Ryzen 5.
Yeah, I would just stop putting the motherboard in the chassis, man, because that's gonna be the biggest pain to get the wiring all and stuff done so that you have proper airflow.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I got everything else but that, so I'm gonna go ahead and get on that. All right, y'all. Y'all have a good day. Good night.
Yes,
All
sir.
right.
Y'all later.
Hey, thanks for coming up, bro.
Man. Have a great night, my man.
Yes. Nagone, any last thoughts?
No, it was a very good session. Kind of needed conversations once again, and thanks for having me on, Mike.
Absolutely. Thank you all for joining us. Please hit the like button on the way out. Share the video if possible and hit that notification bell.